Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are doing well. I know we've got a long day of college football in front of us. I know we've got some Mariners baseball, but before we get to all of that, I want to talk a little bit about the challenge the Seahawks have in front of them tomorrow afternoon. We're about 28 and a half hours away from kickoff here in Seattle. Home opener, season opener against the Los Angeles Rams. And there's no better way to start the season than a game against this Rams team. This is an ideal way to start the season. This is an ideal way to get yourself on the right track. This is the ideal way to get you feeling good about yourself going into this very interesting 2023 Seahawks season. So let's be clear about a couple of things, guys. This Rams team. Let's talk about these Rams for a second. They're not your typical Rams team that you've come accustomed to over the last several years, where they've been anywhere from good to elite. Last year, obviously, they were bad, but this team isn't even going to be really like that, I don't think. This is not your typical Sean McVay Rams. This isn't your Jeff Fisher Rams. I don't even really think this is your Steve Spagnuolo Rams. This is a different breed of Rams team, and I think that other than the Cardinals, another team in this division, other than the Cardinals, you don't see a team this destitute going into a season most years. Most years, teams are at least going in there with a little bit of something to get excited about. They've got some guys who could go one way or the other. They've got some youth that could break out this year. There's something going on. There's nothing going on with this Rams team, really. Or at the very least, the things that are going on with this Rams team are so low on the list of things that are intriguing that you can barely even call it anything other than just a team of guys who collect paychecks and go out there and play a game for 3+ hours once a week. So it's this is not a typical situation here. People bring up stuff when it comes to the Rams in the past. Oh, the Jeff Fisher Rams gave us problems. Yeah, they did, but these Rams shouldn't be anywhere near as good as the Jeff Fisher Rams. Oh, the Rams with the Spagnuolo, they gave us some trouble too at times, and those were bad teams. Yeah, maybe, but I don't think this Rams team has as much talent. Maybe they're better coached. Maybe they can squeeze out a win or two just off of that. But the discrepancy in talent and discrepancy in ability and depth on this roster is unlike something that you will see most seasons. So let's start the Rams offense. That's the one side of the ball that has at least a little bit of juice, I think, because yeah, no Cooper Kupp. We know about that. That's their best player on offense by far. But they are getting Matt Stafford back. I don't know what he's going to be at this point. Obviously, last year, major injury. I thought he was going to retire. I don't know why he didn't retire, but he's back. So we know he's got an arm. He can throw the ball. We know he's an established veteran, very capable, talented quarterback, very good player. Um, or at least he was. But is he going to be a great player? Is he going to? Are we going to see a big slide down towards the? Think about the final years that you saw from other former great quarterbacks. Think about what Brett Favre looked like his final year. Think about what Dan Marino looked like at the end. Think about that. Is Stafford in that phase of his career now? Does he actually have something great left in him? Especially when we know that his career in LA has been defined largely by spamming the ball to Cooper Kupp as much as humanly possible. And now he doesn't have that guy. But, hey, Stafford, I would rather have Matt Stafford short term than the quarterbacks on the Cardinals roster, right? I think that's fair. So there's a little something there. Cam Akers, not a great running back, but he's had good moments. He's beaten the Seahawks up a little bit in previous seasons. The playoff game, he was good against us. Last year, he had a good game against us. So, okay, there's a little something going on there with Cam Akers. Van Jefferson is okay, I guess. He had a decent season the year the Rams won the Super Bowl. One of the complimentary pieces to the Cooper Kupp show. Was okay. Tyler Higbee is a decent tight end, definitely a functional starting tight end. They have a couple of things on that offensive line that are okay. Rob Havenstein's at right tackle, Brian Allen's at center. those two guys are pretty good, but there's nothing on this offense without Cooper Kupp that is noticeably above average, I don't think. Like Havenstein maybe is a little above average as a right tackle. Maybe he's in that good range, but he's starting to get a little up there as well as far as offensive linemen go. So I'm not even convinced about that. So when the Rams have the ball, the only thing that has me any type of concern for this game is Cam Akers. I think Cam Akers could do some stuff. Our run defense is still a work in progress. He's proven he can play well against this team before. He's proven he can have good games. But other than that, I don't think their offensive line should be able to keep up with our edge room, with our pass rush. I think that them being down Cooper Kupp cripples their receiver room to where our secondary should have no issues. And it's not like Stafford is going to be taking off for long runs on plays where the coverage is just perfect. So I don't think there's a lot they can do to hurt us on that side of the ball, but there is some viable NFL talent there. The defense, on the other hand, that is where things have gotten truly destitute in LA. And this is why I say I don't want to hear anything about how, oh, the Rams are a division rival. They always play us tough. It's hard to beat your division rivals. It's week 1. It could be a trap game. This defense is why I'm not hearing any of that right now. And before I say anything else, keep in mind the Rams defense was the only reason why they were kind of sort of competent last year. They were bad last year mostly because their offense was so bad, but their defense was actually kind of okay. So you look at what this defense lost. Let's just go down the list. A'Shawn Robinson, Greg Gaines, Bobby Wagner, Leonard Floyd. They lost Von Miller 2 years ago, so not him, but Taylor Rapp, Jalen Ramsey. So much of what made that defense great in 2021 and okay last year is gone, and they didn't replace it with anything. That's the key point here. The guys they lost, they did next to nothing to replace them. About the only notable player they brought in last offseason, to my knowledge, is Akello Witherspoon, and I don't even know how much he's going to play. He's listed buried on that depth chart right now, so he might not even play. You've loaded up on guys of a very low profile. Byron Young, Bobby Brown III, Russ Yeast, which is a real name. Yes, I'm not kidding. They have a safety named Russ Yeast. And it's not even really a bunch of guys that you have optimism for long term. Like, there are a couple of guys like that, like maybe Kobe Turner on the defensive line. Maybe they're looking at him as a future piece. But most of these guys are just there to collect a paycheck and go to another team next year. They're just here because somebody has to do this job. So when the Seahawks have the ball, you should be able to do anything. Aaron Donald is the only player on this team defense that, as of right now, I think you can call even average. Their second best player is probably Kobe Durant, their cornerback. That's honestly the best I can find. Everybody else, complete no-name or somebody who's already kind of failed or a rookie who doesn't really have high expectations. Remember, their rookies are not blue chippers because they traded their picks to get Stafford. They don't have young blue chip players on this team anymore because of all the picks they traded. So this defense should be one of the worst in the league. It is right down there with the Cardinals depth chart in terms of ineffectiveness. Aaron Donald, yeah, sure. He can be a problem. I still think he's a good player, although I do think he's entering a different phase of his career. We did not see the same stuff from him that we usually see last year, but it just shouldn't matter with the rest of the team around him. In previous years, when you played this Rams team, you might go into the game thinking, oh, we can't really double team Aaron Donald that much because then we're going to get killed by Leonard Floyd. Oh, we're going to get killed by Von Miller. Well, they don't have those guys anymore. Who's their second best pass rusher right now? Who's the second guy they have that can reliably get pressure on the quarterback? Maybe Michael Hoyt, however you pronounce it. He had a pretty good game against us last year, I guess. Maybe a guy like Murchison, the defensive lineman who sacked Wilson a couple times last year when they played the Broncos. I guess he's okay. But you wouldn't go into the game thinking about those guys beyond just the courtesy of, oh, they're on the team. So you should be able to throw whatever you want to throw at Aaron Donald. You should be able to double team him all game if you want to, and you shouldn't have to worry about these guys punishing you with single teams. So as an outside viewer, I can look at this and go, okay, you throw whatever you got to throw at Aaron Donald to make sure he doesn't beat you, and everything else should be fine. And I imagine this Rams team is going to play aggressively on defense to try to account for the fact that they don't have the pass rushers. They don't have the guys on the defensive line. They don't have the edge rushers. They don't really have anything to beat us individually except for Donald. So you're going to see some blitzes. You're going to see some aggressive stuff. You're going to see receivers left in one-on-one situations. So honestly, this game should be a great opportunity for you to hit big plays deep down the field because they're trying to leave Metcalf in single coverage. They're trying to leave Lockett in single coverage. They're trying to get away with not having to dedicate a lot of resources in coverage so they can get extra guys in the box and get extra guys on the blitz to make up for their deficiencies in terms of one-on-one guys. So there's going to be an opportunity for some big plays in this game, and that's what I'm looking for. I want to put this game in the hands of Geno Smith. I want to let him throw the rock around. I want to let him feast on this defense. Our running game, this might not be the game for it. Our interior offensive line, not in an ideal state. Aaron Donald is somebody who could single-handedly disrupt things in the middle potentially. He's the only guy on this team that has a chance of doing it anyway. So I think you just have to look at it and go, this is not the game for us to be running the ball up the A-gap and the B-gap to let Aaron Donald influence the game too much. You double-team him, you let Geno throw the ball a lot, there's only so much he's going to be able to do. And I believe there are a lot of big plays in this game potentially. Me and the Hawks Nest talked about that a little bit last night on the stream, and I believe it is the case. So let Geno cook, let Geno run the show, and I'm not really too concerned about anything when it comes to this game. I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling like we can win by 3 scores or more. And I just want everybody to understand that we are just guys who watch the game. We are guys just watching the game. We can say these things. I understand that the Seahawks team can't be going into this game thinking about things the way that I am. They have to take this seriously. They have to go out there and play. They have to go out there and play at a high level in order to actually deliver on any of this. That's the team. That's not me. Me, I can look at this and go, look, this should not be a trap game. It's the first game of the year. Your record is 0-0. You're not on some 7-game winning streak where you can be feeling yourself and then you drop a game that you shouldn't be dropping. You are 0-0 right now. 0-0. So I'm not hearing that. I'm not hearing stuff about how, oh, division rivalry games are always tough. That applies for when a team actually has at least a decent share of NFL talent on their roster. That's not the case with any of this right now. So I'm expecting a big blowout win. There's just nothing left on this Rams team that should be intimidating anybody. The only 2 stud players they have are Kupp and Donald, and one of those guys is out. The other guy might be entering a different phase in his career. They have, like I said, a few viable pieces on the offense that are playable, that are capable of playing well, that are capable of having good moments in this league. But that defense, they just threw together what they could. They had no money to spend in the offseason, so all they did was lose players and do very little to replace them. They did the bare minimum to replace them, just enough to field a roster of guys who can, by the barest definition, play football. So, no excuses. If we lose this game, I will not be getting on here after this game trying to downplay it, trying to say, oh, well, the Rams are tough, they always play us tough, they have this guy, they have that. No. Not happening. I am telling you that right now. If we lose this game and I come on here with some crap about how, oh, the Rams are this and that, call me out on that because that should not be happening. The only way I would do that would be if like the refs gift them, literally like give them 35 free points before the game starts just because they feel bad for them or something like that. The NFL calls down to our game right before it starts and say, hey, started at 35-0 Rams. Then, okay. But other than that, no, I'm not hearing it. All right. So, see you guys later. We're going to be streaming the Huskies game. Go Hawks. Hope you guys are ready for that. Hope you guys are ready for tomorrow. And, yeah, you are starting off with a cupcake, guys. Take advantage of it. That's all I can say. This is as much of an NFL cupcake as you will see. So, go eat it. Go eat it. And let's start this season 1-0. See you guys later. Go Hawks.